As a man, I like to try and think there's always a way out. I think that there's certainly a degree of bravery that comes when men are around their brothers, and I think that if you get the right group of men together, even if you get 10 of them and tell them they're all going to be blown to pieces, they'll still manage to find a way to laugh. Why do we think that is? Why do we think that's so important for life as well, and why that translates across the optimum life a man can live? Why do you think you need men around you that inspire you in that way? I think there's certainly something. If you look at the most men who are miserable and unhappy today, I think that there's a few things that are lacking. You'll ask them what it is. They might say women, they might say money, but in my experience, mainly it's brotherhood. I think most men who are truly miserable don't have brothers, because if you have good guys around you and you're truly a team and you know you can truly rely on them and they can truly rely on you, you don't really care about much else. You can take a good group of guys and bankrupt them and dump them on a beach in the Philippines with no girls and no money, and they will still laugh, still have fun, still survive. So I think brotherhood's an extremely important thing.
You meet lots of men in your lifetime, and the number one go-to to look for, I think, in identifying good people, because I've been to the bottom of the bottom and back to the top, and I think the number one go-to that I look for, it's why I still have some friends for a very long time, like Peter and Adam and those guys from Slovakia, because when I was down and out, when I was broke, when I had nothing to eat, they'd message me, hey man, you want to meet for a drink? They cared about hanging out with me, regardless of everything else that I do. It's crazy how in the past 5 years, every single man I've ever met in my entire life or hung out with for 1 day or 1 week, they're all like, oh man, I'd love to catch up with you. Oh, I bet you would. What, at my mansion, on my boat, in the jet, over here, I bet you'd love to catch up with me, but why didn't you want to catch up with me when I was down and out? So, you know who your real friends are, because when you're down, you know who's looking out for you and who's messaging you. I said this to you, actually, in prison. I said, the one thing I miss, I went 92 days, no women, no booze, no fun, no nothing. And when I finally got put in a room with Andrew, I was like, yeah, I missed you, man, but you know what? I miss my friends. And that's why whenever I got the chance to pass a message to someone on the phone, to tell Luke to post something on my Twitter, I was tweeting cowboy country music because I knew you'd read it. Yep. I didn't want to pass love letters to outside. I was like, no. I want Justin to know that I'm okay, because I think that your friends are the foundation you build everything on. You know, women and children and everything else in life that brings you untold amounts of joy is part of the castle you build upon the foundation. But the men are certainly part of the foundation.
For any man out there, if you want to find friends which are hardworking and dedicated and motivated, and you want to respect them and you want them to respect you back, go into a fight gym and learn how to fight for real. And you will have a bunch of friends who aren't afraid, who aren't cowards, who respect you, who you respect back. You'll have some of my best friends. In fact, a lot of the guys who've been visiting me this last week, anyone who's following me on Twitter, I've been sparring with, are guys I used to train with 10, 11, 12 years ago. And they're still coming to see me. So yeah, that's a fantastic way, because I think if we actually psychoanalyze that, that's interesting. When men go through shared experiences, I think that's how we bond, especially if it's shared hardship. It doesn't matter if it's a football team, winning a game, losing a game, going to war, your army buddies, going to fight, your fight buddies. We have to have some kind of shared hardship to bond with. And I think that's very important. So if you're the kind of guy who avoids hardship or avoids challenges or tasks, you're going to struggle to find any kind of friends worth having in the first place. So when someone says, oh, I'm not motivated to become strong, or I don't really care about money, we are also saying, by extension, I don't want strong friends around me. I don't want rich friends around me.
Because you're a bad friend.
Because you're going to be a bad friend. And then you have to sit and look and understand that lone wolves don't survive. The idea of Rambo in and of itself is a fallacy. It's always going to be packs and teams that are going to survive. If your team's going to be a bunch of weaklings like you that lack motivation, you say I lack motivation, you're also advertising to the world that every single one of the people you're friends with are going to lack motivation. So then what? What chance do you have, you and your dork friends with no motivation, against a bunch of motivated men?
Yeah, because I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible to have a bunch of friends who are motivated and focused and not be motivated and focused yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Peer pressure is fantastic. It works it absolutely works both ways, right? But most motivated, hardworking men are not going to want to hang around with a loser if he doesn't get his act right.